Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot in a red state, utilizing tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. The focus of today's reading is going to be just that weekly update that I'm going to be doing, looking into the swearing in of Representative Adelita Grijalva and the government shutdown update. It seems like those two are very connected. Little Tiny Johnson has no desire whatsoever to reopen the government because he knows that as soon as he does, he's got to swear her in. So I want to look into that specifically for her. The Arizona Attorney General now has a lawsuit suing to get her sworn in. So I want to look at that. And then what I also got, I was in a conversation with Catherine on Blue Sky. So Catherine, if you're watching, hello. She pointed out some things to me in the reading, because remember, I don't remember my readings, and she pointed out some things. I was like, oh my God. I had got that she would, that Representative Grijalva would go to DC and try to track down little Tiny Johnson there to swear her in, and she did. I was off by a week. The other thing that she pointed out was the Tower card, and it was like, and like literally the demolition of the East Wing of the White House, and it's like, oh my God, that's exactly what that is, the Tower card and the destruction of the people's house. Sometimes these cards can have just literal meanings, like what, face value there, and that was one of them. So, anyway, I thought that was pretty amazing, and thank you for pointing that out to me, because as I said, I don't always remember my readings. So the other thing, and I think she was talking probably about the week of November 13th. I've got this here. It was, the first card was the Lover's card, and we did get the Abstain, which we knew we would get Virginia Guffrey's book this week. The Chariot came up, which was just everything is in disarray, and we're seeing that, in disarray. Specifically about the No Kings protest, the white, they're terrified. They could not fearmonger us to stay home, and it was like damn near like 8 million people showed up to protest. So yay for us. And then the Tower card, which is the literal demolition of the White House East Wing. So I'm really liking these energy readings, and I'm finding them to be very accurate. And then that Adelita Grijalva and government shutdown one, when I went week by week, we're seeing that stuff happen now. So that's why I've just been kind of putting those readings up there. Really go back and check those out, because that's some pretty cool stuff that came up in those. So right now I want to do base reading into this Arizona lawsuit. Is that going to be what finally gets her sworn in? As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Looking into the lawsuit to get the Representative Grijalva sworn in. What do we need to know about that? And as always, for entertainment purposes only. Okay, is this lawsuit going to work? What do we need to know? Base reading. Okay, into the lawsuit. And I'm using my Morgan Greer deck today. That's what the back looks like. Morgan Greer. Okay. Things are up in the air, looking for options. And then what's crossing that is the Moon card. So both of these are going to be really kind of vague cards. And it's coming up right here. The heart of this is little, Maggot Mike and his Tiny Johnson are, coming up with every excuse in the world. And I love it whenever reporters are actually pushing back on him, saying, no, that's not what happened. Whenever they were trying to say that, oh, he was just following the Pelosi example. And they were like, no, that's not at all what happened. So apparently that representative had asked for a specific date so his family could be there. And so that's why that had taken so long. Okay, and so what's crossing this, the challenge is that just the very vague of this. It's like this is a very watery card, very emotional card. Things happening under the dark of night, not being honest, especially in its lower energy. Okay. And back and forth. And there's the red hat right there. Okay. Going back and forth. How are we going to navigate these troubled waters? Weighing our options. So far, none of this is about the lawsuit. Trying to, and he's out there trying to say everything, making every excuse in the world, trying to hold on to political power, and his hands are tied. I wonder, and this is going to be that 9 of Swords. Also, his worst nightmare is that she gets sworn in. Swords can also be the anything medical, anything legal. And so with the Swords, that could be that legal case, that lawsuit that forces him to have to swear her in. But I mean, before that, it's like every excuse in the world. I mean, literally that 7 here, every excuse in the world. So let's look here at this 9 of Swords. What finally forces his hand? What finally forces him to do this? Fox is loose in the hen house. This is also the damn circus in my Robinwood deck. Oh, actually, I just picked up that card. I just picked up the card here in the middle of my Robinwood deck. It's the same, 7 of Swords. Here's the damn circus, in town, trying to flee under the dark of night. So, like, he's trying everything he can. It's like nothing but a damn circus, and he's hiding from his responsibilities. That's what I'm getting from that. And then rejoicing and emotions, like something. Let me see here. Oh, it could just be like the continued lies. That's what that is. The continued lies. So this lawsuit, is this going to force him? I mean, like, I'm having to really, like, there's nothing here saying, it's like winning at all costs, having to defend his actions, and he's just not going to do it. Even if there's a court order, is he going to do it? He's, like, looking out into the future. This is also the representation for, he's just not going to, he's doing everything he can to keep from, he's doing everything he can to keep from swearing her in. I'm not seeing anything here with the courts. And I mean, I've put out like 1, 2, 3, like several rounds here. It's just not coming up. So even if there was a court, a court order ordering him to do this, I'm just not seeing him do it. It's like he's lying. It's almost like, yeah, we'll do that. Like whenever he says, yeah, we'll do this whenever the government opens, but we're not going to do it before that. That's what that's his plan. He's not going to deviate from that at all. So the government shutdown. I was looking into, they've been talking about that nuclear option. And so it's really not something that they can do easily. There'll be like, at some point they have to actually change like the procedure. And I think like they would have to have the 60 votes in order to do that. So I just don't know that is going to be an option. But when have they ever followed, this administration? Laws don't mean anything to them. So I want to look into, are they going to use the nuclear option? As I said, everything I've seen doesn't really seem like that is, it's not a traditional option. It's not really something that they've ever done for like this kind of bill before. They usually do that for like judicial nominations. That's kind of what that's been used for in the past. So I just want to know, are they going to do that? The nuclear option to stop the shutdown. And what the nuclear option would mean in the Senate is that they could just they could pass the appropriations with just 51 votes. So are they going to be using the nuclear option? And with that, things under the dark of night, and the challenge is the law. Thank goodness. So that's the challenge. Like they're trying to figure out a way to be able to do that, but I don't think, no, they can't. They're not going to. And this is the Hierophant is the spirit of these institutions. I've also been kind of recently reading this as we the people. We embody the spirit of our Constitution, and we the people have we have a say. And so yeah, the lies that they're telling to try to get this to happen, and Knight of Wands, the fiery message, but they don't actually follow through with it. So no, I don't think that they use the nuclear option. So how does this government shutdown end? I was getting I was getting, like, in the last one I did, it wouldn't stop until like mid-November. Ben Mycelis, on one of his recent Midas Touch videos, said that he expects it to go, it wouldn't surprise him for it to go on until January. And some of that is like, I don't know that this administration is going to be, around that long. So let me ask, like, what finally brings this government shutdown to an end? What finally brings this government shutdown to an end? And are we all going to have health insurance afterwards? But first, let me just ask this of what brings this to an end? Okay, and with bringing it to an end, whoa, the Tower card. Okay, you saw me shuffle the Tower card. So in that, as Catherine pointed out to me, the demolition of the White House of the East Wing, do they accidentally take a wrecking ball into the Oval Office and he just happens to be sitting there? No, I don't think that's what that is, but yeah, karma's a bitch. So something very explosive happens, and then the challenge. Okay, you guys, you saw me shuffle. To have both of these cards come up together, this does not bode well. It's like the heart and center is like the shit hits the fan, and the challenge is all of the all your transgressions have now come to light. The challenge is you're not getting out of this. So yeah, the way we get out of this, and I got that in that other reading, that the way we get out of this is that this administration's removed. Well, that just can't happen soon enough. Yeah, Epstein files, agreements. This could also, I mean, they break the law every single day. Like the agreements of, like they bombed those fishing boats. There's, war crimes, what they've done to the migrants. Still haven't heard anything about those 1,200 missing migrants. I think that whenever we find out more about what's been happening in those immigration camps is going to just be horrendous. So, I mean, it's literally spin the wheel and pick a reason, and that he can't defend it. Like, this is not something that he can defend. The truth comes out, and just be patient. Okay. Where are we at on time? So, let me see if I can get win. Because this be patient card, I think we've been patient. We have been patient. Can we get a little bit more on the win? The downfall comes. Okay, on win, within about a month, 4 weeks. 4 weeks, 2 months, going back and forth, trying to make decisions, and then the news about it. I think that we're going to be actually getting some news. Like, we're going to be hearing. I've never gotten that it was really like one thing that just like, it's not like one thing happens and it's like all tied up, in a nice little package with a bow on it. That's not what happens. It's kind of like there's like all these little things that just keep building and building and building. And I truly do think that the final straw is going to be the Epstein files. But there's a lot of other stuff that has led up to that. Like, everything I listed, with our options of, what it could actually be. So expect something within the next, within the next month. And then here is definitely, with 2 months. So yeah, 1 to 2 months. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for more, like happy news before Thanksgiving. That's what I want right there. Where am I at on time? So is that what it's going to take for Adelita Grijalva to be sworn in? Is that what it's going to take? The downfall of this government, of this administration, is like after. Let's see, where is it? After this, is this when she's going to finally be sworn in? Moving forward, the Wheel of Fortune finally, things moving in, like both of these are movement cards. And yes, that's when this is, I'm going to see this as they voted her in. So like this balance, like, and she's the representative, so like how is she working for her constituents? So that's why I'm saying this, that yes, she does get sworn in, and it's after the fall. And it's after the fall of this government. So I consistently get this, so I guess we'll see. I really, I don't, I'm sitting here going, I really don't know what to say, because I just keep getting kind of that same thing. And I mean, when these two cards together, the Tower card and Trump is fucking Satan, that does not bode well for them. I love that so much for them. Maybe we all end up having a happy Thanksgiving. So, yeah, thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Share, like, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a great day.